what is a provider exactly? Like, as a man, what do we provide? Let's go and talk about it.
I was just patient, never try skating. Fuck niggas hating.
As you know, whenever I do these videos, it's in real time. So I don't have a bunch of material that's already pre-written. I just go through my dating life and things that I encounter. I write about it and I make a video about it. So recently, I was talking to a woman online because I do online dating. I also meet people in real life too, but I met this woman online and conversation was going smooth. We matched. She was attractive. And I said one of my infamous questions. I asked her, what values do you look for in a man? Well, typically, she responded in a way that was typical. And the first thing she said was a provider. She said other things, but I want to freeze right here. So I asked her, I said, she said three things, and the two things I liked them. And then the provider, I asked her for clarity. I said, what does a man provide? Her response was, that's a weird, or no, her response was, that's a strange question. And then she asked me a question instead of answering my question. She says, what do you provide as a man? Okay, so let me freeze right here. We already know where this is going. If you're going to answer my question with a question, you were ill-prepared when I asked you. So you didn't expect me to just ask you for clarification. And it's sad that I have to ask for clarification because when you hear something as simple as a woman saying she's looking for a provider, unfortunately in modern dating, that means she's looking for somebody who's going to pay her bills. That means she's looking for somebody who's going to give her money, take her shopping, take her on trips. That means she's looking for the breadwinner. She's looking for somebody who's financially stable, not because he's a responsible man, but because he can provide her stability. It's all about her. Okay? Now, even if I take it back to the biblical times, and I don't want to get religious, but men were here. God made women to tend to men. That does not mean, and from my perspective, that women are our slaves. No. I don't believe that women are our slaves. I believe that they are helpmates. But what happens in modern dating is women are shifting the roles. They, in their brains, the man is supposed to help them. The man is here to assist them. They have completely lost touch of what the roles of a woman is. And like I said before, I do not personally believe that women are here to be slaves for men. I don't believe in that alpha male mentality stuff where a woman's only job is to submit to a man and she shouldn't have a voice or opinion or feelings or nothing. I don't believe in that. But that being said, I definitely don't believe that men were put here to assist women. I do not believe that men were put here to make sure a woman has everything she wants and needs and no one's tending to the man. That is a complete delusion. It is a skewed sense of reality. It's ass backwards, to say the least. Okay? So that gave me an idea for a video. And I said, man, let me go ahead, in case there's men in the world who are unsure of what we actually provide as men. It's good to know this. This is good game. Because if you know as a man what you're actually supposed to provide, you won't be stuck in this mentality of thinking that when a woman tells you she's looking for a provider, that means that you need to pay her bills and that you're obligated to do so, or you're obligated to take her shopping, or you're obligated to take her on trips. That is not what a provider does. That is a form of providing, obviously. Someone who is an opportunist, who's looking for a man who provides these things. Yeah, you're providing. If you're tricking because you got it, you're providing. But that's not what a provider really is. That's not what a real man was meant to provide. So in this video, I'm going to give you a short list of things that you don't want to do at all. If you can avoid them, avoid them. Sometimes circumstances make it to where we have to do some of these things I'm going to mention, but you don't want to do them. And then I'm going to get into the meat and the vegetables, the things that actually, that actually make you a provider. Okay. Number one, never pay a woman's bills who is not your woman or your wife. Never do that. That's not you being a provider. That's you being a trick. Okay? We never do that. Ever. You just met this woman. You guys are just dating and she's feeling like, well, I need help. You do need help. It's called JOB. It's called be more responsible with your money. It's called stay out the clubs. It's stop. Most of these women, they have a closet full of clothes, rack to rack. Half of the clothes still got labels on them and tags on them. They ain't even wore that. Okay, stop shopping. Oh, they don't want to hear that. They want you to cater to their vanity. That's not what we're here for. Number two thing that you never want to do, never pay a woman's bills who you're not living with. Why would you pay rent somewhere where you don't stay? Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I'm not going to knock on my next door neighbor's house and be like, hey, man, your rent's due. Here goes $1,600. And then go back home and pay mine too. I'm like, well, I'm just a nice guy, You wouldn't do that, right? Okay. Why would I pay a woman's bills and I don't live there? That's not my place. My name's not on the lease. I didn't sign up for it. When I go sign the lease, they check my credit and they check my income to make sure that I can sustain that place on my own. So why did you go sign a lease somewhere and you can't pay your rent? Sounds like a personal problem to me. Sounds like you're irresponsible to me. Now, if you're going to tell me, oh, I could pay my own bills, I just want you to do it. Well, look here, Debo. Okay, I'm not Red, and I'm not Chris Tucker and the rest of them who was getting bullied by Debo. Okay? Debo got his ass knocked out, too. Keep that in mind. Last thing I want to tell you, you never do. Guy code, don't do this. Never move in with a woman. If it is her place, and she put her name on the lease, and she told those people that she can maintain those bills, but she really can't, so she gets with you, and she thinks you green, wet behind the ears, all of that, and she says, well, we might as well, move in one place. It doesn't make sense. We're together. It doesn't make sense to have two mortgages. It doesn't make sense. She's correct. I'd let her move in with me if we were going to move in with each other. It's going to be a place where either you living with me in my place or we went out and got a place together. Those are the only two options. You moving in with a woman, everything that she's trying to get accomplished, like you paying her bills, you sponsoring her trips, you sponsoring her shopping habits, she can keep her money. That's exactly what you're going to be doing if you move in with a woman. Your money is going to be spent on what it's supposed to get spent on. Her money is going to get spent on what she wants it to be spent on. Never move in with a woman. Okay? Now that I got that out the way, that's probably going to cut down half your conversations with women who claim that they're looking for providers. At least 50% of those women are going to flee you when you say, hey, I'm not paying your bills unless you're my girlfriend or we're married. Okay? Secondly, I'm not paying your rent because I don't live with you. Third, I'm not moving in with you. Okay? Pew! Like roaches when the light come on. Okay? Now, the meat and the vegetables. Grab your fork, grab your knife. There's going to be some steak on the side of this one. This is what providers actually provide. Number one, we provide guidance. We provide guidance by being a good leader, someone who has good decision-making skills and who is responsible. That's what you provide. You provide guidance. People follow you by default. This doesn't mean that you go around telling people what they should be doing. This doesn't mean that you give unwarranted advice. This means that you practice this for yourself. And anyone who is observing you and your behavior, they will see that you are a good decision maker and you are responsible. Therefore, they shouldn't have any problem following your lead or your guidance. So that's one thing that you as a man provide, guidance. Number two, you provide security. And you provide security by having a plan that secures the future for you and your family. So having a plan, being intentional, doing things that only line up with your purpose. If that's to get that promotion, if that's to buy that house, then guess what you're doing? You're working on your credit. You're not calling off work. You're not going on trips you can't afford. You're saving your money in your bank account. You have a plan. Okay? So you provide security by having a plan. That's what security is. Stick with me here. Number three, you provide emotional support by listening to understand and not just to respond. So when somebody is listening to respond, they're sitting there saying, and they're waiting for that person to stop talking so they can say, good. Now, what I was going to tell you is this. That's listening to respond. Listening to understand is when you're listening to I'm skipping up. When you're listening to someone speak and you're trying to understand where they're coming from. What is the root problem here? You're like, okay. So what stemmed that? What brought these thoughts on? Like, what made you feel that way? You're asking more probing questions because you want to see what the root problem is so that you can attack the issue at the root. Therefore, the problem actually goes away. That's listening to understand instead of waiting your turn to talk. That's combative and argumentative. And that is just how you just go in a circle. You don't get anything resolved. You build resentment. She doesn't feel listened to or heard. And then you have strife and you have bitterness and toxicity in your relationship by doing that. Okay? So that's not providing emotional support. Argumentative behavior is not providing emotional support. Now, I'm going to say one more thing on this topic. That's something that should be reciprocated. Because when you are dealing with somebody and you are more than willing to listen to understand where they're coming from, and when you're talking, they're waiting and listening to respond, that's a clear sign that you're just dealing with somebody who doesn't communicate in a healthy manner. Good luck with that. I can't tell you what to do because I understand that when you love somebody, it gives you that this added sense of patience and you deal with things that you know aren't healthy and won't get you anywhere. But you definitely want to try to get this person to understand, whether it's through going to counseling or sitting down and telling this person how you really feel and helping them understand that you're not listening to me. You're not understanding what I'm saying. You just want to be heard, but you're not hearing me. So this should be reciprocated. But you as a provider, you provide emotional support by listening to understand and not just to respond. Number 4, you provide peace. And you provide peace by having self-control. Okay? You provide peace by having self-control and a calm demeanor. You're not impulsive. You're not like a ticking time bomb waiting to explode and give somebody all you got because they said something that you felt slighted by or offended by. You know how to take the roll with the punches, and you're like, I ain't like how that felt. I ain't like what you just said. That I don't like that. And you express yourself. Hopefully you're with somebody that allowed you to express yourself. These women out here who feel like you're a sassy man because you express your feelings, trash that. Put that in the dumpster. Any woman who refers to you as a sassy man, dump that, trash that. Okay? I got a whole video on my channel about are you a sassy man or signs you're a sassy man. And I gave it from my own point of view, but I did include some of the reasons why a woman would call you sassy. And I had somebody jump in my comments who pretty much told me that a sassy man is somebody who's undercover. A sassy man is somebody who is on the down low, or implying that I was a sassy man, like as if I was gay and not aware of it or something like that. Or I don't know. I know I'm not one, but look, bottom line is That's one thing you don't want to do. You definitely want to provide peace by having self-control and a calm demeanor. You don't want to be arguing with a woman. You don't want to be ready to fly off the handle because a woman says something that you didn't agree with. Number 5, you provide safety. And you provide safety by keeping your loved ones out of harm's way and standing up for them when potential harm is present. Putting your kids and your family behind you, telling them get in the car. It's kind of a sacrificial lifestyle when you're a man. You rather something happen to you before it happens to them, or to happen to you only and not to them. You're like a human shield. You're a protector. You provide safety. You get them out of here. If worst case scenario, you'll say, drive off, leave, get in the car, get you and the kids in the car and drive off right now. Don't go too far. Go up the block. If you don't hear from me in 5 minutes, call the police. Get them out of there. That's how you provide safety. Not like these immature women that tell somebody, I'll call my boyfriend to beat you up. No, you won't. You're not going to call me there and then I get up there and I get gunned down. No. You're not finna be picking fights that I got to fight for you. Now, hopefully you with a woman who has class and she doesn't run her mouth to strangers and she doesn't run her mouth to men who can clearly hurt her. She's putting you in harm's way. She calls you, you get upset because someone disrespected her, so you believe. You show up, and then there's 3 or 4 guys. Now your ego gets involved where you can't back down. And you probably don't get the whole scoop, but if you got the whole scoop, somebody probably come out, a witness tell you that she put her hands on this man unprovoked. And now you still don't like the fact that a man put his hands on your woman, but at the same time, you like, you hit him? I'm about to potentially go to jail or get hurt because you're impulsive? No. Okay? You keep your family out of harm's way, and if potential harm is present, you take the front line. Somebody's got to do it. It's got to be you. That's how you provide safety. Number 6, you provide structure. You provide structure by setting healthy boundaries and leading by example. Setting healthy boundaries in a relationship is easier said than done, but it's very necessary. Setting healthy boundaries, for one, takes you to be a practicer of those boundaries. But for me, respect is one of the biggest boundaries, and that's everyone. Adults respect kids, kids respect adults, adults respect each other. Kids respect each other. All the way around, respect is one of those non-negotiable boundaries of mine. I respect my kids like little adults. I call them my little people. My son just walked up the stairs. They walk around me freely. They get respect. They don't get abused or verbally, any other kind of way. Physically, mentally, emotionally, sexually, none of that. There's no abuse. It's only respect. But I'm still the leader here. But that's just an example of one of the healthy boundaries that you could set in place in your family dynamic. And then you have to be an enforcer of that, but you also have to be a practicer of that. You're providing structure. I don't let my kids fight each other. I let them know one day that's all you're going to have. I'm not going to be here forever. I have brothers, I have sisters, and we have to get along. Because one day when parents are gone, all you have is each other. Number 7, you provide stability. Now, how you provide stability is by prioritizing your finances and practicing healthy spending habits. Okay? I left this one last because this one is the only one that's regarding finances and what finances can do as far as you being a provider. Finances provide stability. Obviously, it can provide to the type of lifestyle you want to live, but if you're a frugal man and you're okay with living in an apartment versus you being a guy who prefers a house, that's on you. I can't tell you nothing about that. But as far as what finances actually do in a relationship in a healthy manner, is they provide stability, especially if you know how to save, especially if you know how to spend your money wisely, especially if you're not throwing cash in the strip club, especially if you don't have a drug or a gambling habit. Then you always have it in case a car breaks down, a case of bill, a rainy day. You got a rainy day fund. Now, you could probably see how paying somebody else's bills that don't live with you or that you don't live with, that's not healthy spending habits. Taking someone shopping for no reason because she thinks she's the hottest thing walking this earth, that's not healthy spending habit. Paying for sex, drugs, gambling, those aren't healthy spending habits. If a woman expects you to do those things, she's not looking for a man who, by my definition here in this video, provides. She's looking for a provider of herself, not a provider in general what you are actually meant to provide for her. Okay? It's unfortunate, but I'm not going to run out of content because every time I speak to another woman, which is all the time, I'm like, y'all serious? Yeah, you serious? They don't want you to ask any questions. They want you to follow their lead. They want to be the leader. They want you to do what they think you should be doing, and you shouldn't be asking questions before they call you sassy or something like that. And I ain't going for it. You can read the description on my YouTube page. It says Sigma male, and it says, it also says super empath. I have a heart in my chest. I talk about love. I give positive advice. I'm a good guy, but I ain't playing that. I don't get finessed. It won't happen. You can finesse yourself out of access to me, but you ain't gonna finesse me. So next time you hear a woman say she's looking for a provider, gain some clarity. Ask her, so what in your opinion, what does a man provide? And obviously, if she answers your question with a question, she don't know the answer. And if she does answer and she's going to tell you that a man should pay my bills, I don't pay women's bills unless you're my woman. And even if you were my woman, I'm not going to say, all right, welcome to being my woman. Hand all your bills, forward all your bills to me, and I'll make sure they're paid. Absolutely not. But if, we were going to do something that made economic sense, like split, our financial responsibilities from being two households to one, then we would merge. That makes sense. You love me, I love you. We're sure we want to be together. We're compatible. We like each other outside of, what I can provide. And then we move in together. Guess what? She can move in with me, or we can go find a place. But I ain't moving my stuff into your house. And it's not about trust. It's not even like, oh, if I trust her, I would. No, even if I trusted a woman, I wouldn't do that. This might be my own opinion. I don't expect you to have it, this way of thinking, but that's not manly. Me as a man, I'm gonna be self-sustainable, and my ship that I built can hold passengers. I'm not going to abandon ship and jump on yours. If you like this video, please give me a like, comment, or subscribe. If you're new to this channel, my name is Jerome, and this has been another episode of The Superb Word. I hope you guys stick around for my next video. I appreciate you for watching till the end, and you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. All right, till next time, two fingers.